When you hear this story, believe me, you won't be able to take your eyes off the screen, because what I'm about to share is a secret that turned my life upside down, and when you hear what happened to me, your mouth will drop open. My name is Olivia. I'm 36 years old, and I've been married to the love of my life, Daniel, for 12 years. Our marriage has always been passionate and full of excitement. We travel together, explore new places, and express our love for each other at every opportunity. From the outside, everything seems perfect, right? But life sometimes leads us down unexpected paths. It all started when Daniel's 22-year-old stepson, Liam, from his first marriage, moved in with us. When Daniel said that Liam would stay with us for a few months, I didn't object. What could be better than strengthening family bonds? But from the moment Liam arrived, I began feeling an indescribable unease in my heart. Liam was different in every way. He was confident, energetic, and had this magnetic quality that drew people in. One day, while we were at the dinner table, he said to me, "Olivia, I haven't met anyone as full of life as you in a long time." It could have just been a compliment, but the way he looked at me in that moment, it felt like he was saying much more. At first, I didn't take it seriously. But as the moments I spent alone with Liam increased, that unease inside me turned into a strange attraction. So where would this attraction lead? I kept telling myself it was wrong, but sometimes our hearts manage to silence our minds, don't they? If you're eager to find out how this story ends, please don't turn away from the screen, because what I'm about to share will make not just my life, but everyone watching question everything. A few weeks had passed since Liam moved in. During that time, I had many opportunities to talk to him one-on-one. Daniel traveled frequently for work, and I was left alone at home with Liam. At first, everything seemed innocent. We would talk about books, movies, and dreams. But after a while, these conversations started to carry a different energy. One day it was quite hot, and I was sitting in the backyard, drinking lemonade and reading a book. Liam came over and said, "The peace in this house is incredible, Olivia. It's really admirable that you've created such a happy place." His words were innocent, but there was something in his tone. It felt like he wanted me to understand not just what he was saying, but what he was feeling. "Thank you, Liam," I said with a smile. But inside there was a strange unease. No one had ever looked at me that way before, at least not except Daniel. After that day, our conversation started lasting longer. One time, he shared a deeper secret about his life. "My relationship with my dad has never been easy," he said one evening while we were sitting in the living room. "But having someone like you in his life makes me think he's a lucky guy." When I heard those words, I paused for a moment. Was there a hidden meaning behind this sentence? One evening during dinner, Daniel was home, and we were deep in a pleasant conversation. But I kept catching Liam glancing at me. Daniel didn't seem to notice, but the way Liam looked at me felt strange. It didn't make me uncomfortable, but in a weird way, it drew me in. The next day, Liam found me in the kitchen while I was making coffee. He quietly entered and said, "Olivia, I need to confess something." My heart started racing. I was curious yet scared at the same time. What was he going to say? The next morning, Liam found me making coffee in the kitchen. He quietly walked in, paused for a moment, and with his eyes fixed on the floor, he said, "Olivia, I need to confess something to you." I placed the coffee cup on the counter and turned to him. My heart was racing. "What happened, Liam?" I asked. There was a moment of silence. Finally, he took a deep breath and spoke. "From the moment I first saw you, I haven't been able to control my feelings for you. I know this is wrong, but no matter how hard I try, I can't get rid of these feelings." His words echoed in my mind. It was as if time had stopped. I didn't know what to say. In that moment, there was both courage and fear in his eyes. I was shocked by these emotions, but at the same time, an indescribable confusion was growing inside me. "Liam, I said finally, my voice trembling. Do you know what you're saying really means? Liam took a step closer to me. Yes, I know. And I realize that by saying this, I'm risking everything. But it feels impossible to suppress my feelings anymore. I just wanted you to know. I'm not expecting you to judge me. In that moment, it felt like even breathing was getting harder. The courage of this young man, the way he expressed his feelings so openly, had caught me off guard. I could ignore what he said. I could pretend I didn't hear it. But could I do that? After Liam's confession, there was a period of silence in the kitchen. The confusion inside me was growing. It felt like my emotions had trapped me. What should I say? Or what should I feel? His boldness in speaking had both surprised and shaken me. Liam, I finally said, taking a deep breath, this isn't right for either of us. Your father? Daniel? My words hung in the air. Liam took another step closer. Olivia, I know this is wrong. But some feelings go against logic, don't they? I would never want to hurt you. I just felt like I couldn't deal with these feelings alone anymore. I swallowed hard when I heard those words. He was so close that I could even feel his breath, and it affected me enough to make me uncomfortable. But that discomfort strangely turned into something else. I briefly looked away, but even that didn't ease the tension. The emotional weight between us had started to affect our daily lives. Liam was trying to be close to me at every opportunity. The accidental brush of our hands while sitting at the table, the fleeting glances when we worked side by side in the kitchen. These moments were innocent, but they carried an energy that was confusing. One evening, when Daniel wasn't home, Liam was helping me in the kitchen. He struggled to open a bottle of wine, and when the bottle slipped from his hand, we both laughed. I guess I'm a little rusty, he said with a smile. In that moment, unknowingly, the distance between us closed. Standing so close to each other, I felt like I was struggling to control my emotions. Liam, we shouldn't be this close, I said, my voice trembling. But instead of stepping back, he just looked at me. As long as you don't want anything, I won't do anything, he said. I'm just trying to understand the emotions in your eyes. In that moment, I knew I had to pull myself together. This conversation needs to end here, I said firmly. But deep down, I also knew that maintaining this distance wouldn't be as easy as I thought. After the moments I shared with Liam, I forced myself to become more distant with him. I tried to always stay busy with some excuse at home, aiming to avoid being alone with him. But sometimes life ignores your plans. One evening, Daniel was away on another business trip. It was a stormy night and the sky kept lighting up with lightning. Liam was watching a movie in the living room. As I passed by, he asked, Olivia, would you like to join me? This is a movie my dad also liked. Rejecting him would seem like distancing myself from our usual family activities. So reluctantly, I sat next to him. As the movie went on, the atmosphere relaxed. The comedy film Liam picked had us laughing often. But at one point, when my arm brushed against his, I instinctively pulled away. He smiled and said, Don't worry, Olivia. I'm not thinking of anything more than watching a movie. His words were innocent, but the tone in his voice made it clear he was aware of the tension between us. By the time the movie ended, it was late. Liam asked, Would you like me to make some tea? Something warm would feel good on a night like this. I nodded in agreement. When the tea was ready, we sat side by side in the kitchen. As the lightning lit up the outside, the silence between us held a deeper meaning than usual. After a while, Liam spoke up. Are you mad at me? His question surprised me. Why would I be mad, Liam? I asked. He stared at the tea in his cup. Sometimes I feel like my feelings might be bothering you. But believe me, I never want to be a burden to you. No, Liam, I said softly. I need to be open with you. The situation between us, it's becoming complicated for both of us. But there has to be a limit to this. because this is a bond that should never go any further. Liam silently nodded. You're right, but I can't stop myself from feeling this way. In that moment, we looked at each other without breaking eye contact. We both knew where this bond could lead, but we also knew it was both wrong and impossible. The bond between Liam and me grew stronger the more I tried to suppress it. His presence, while unsettling at times, also brought a new color to the monotony of my life. I constantly questioned these feelings. I loved Daniel. I was happy with him. But with Liam's entry into our lives, a forgotten excitement had awakened inside me. In the end, I decided this situation couldn't continue any longer. No matter how strong the attraction, it had no future. It would hurt Liam and our family. I had to set my boundaries and protect them. One evening, when Daniel wasn't home, I decided to talk to Liam. He was sitting in the backyard, staring at the stars. I sat next to him, took a deep breath, and started speaking. Liam, I know we can't ignore what's between us, but this bond, no matter how innocent it seems, is heading in the wrong direction. I don't want to hurt you or Daniel. Liam lowered his head, a sadness in his eyes. You're right, Olivia. I'm not ashamed of how I feel, but I can't let these feelings drag us into more confusion. There was a moment of silence. Finally, Liam took a deep breath. I think it's best if I distance myself for a while. Meeting my dad and getting to know you were really important to me, but I can't stay here with these feelings any longer. His words both comforted and saddened me. Him leaving the house seemed like the right way to solve the mess. But at the same time, losing the energy he brought to my life would leave a void inside me. The next morning, Liam packed his things. When I saw him off at the door, he looked at me one last time. Are you regretting getting to know me? He asked. No, Liam, I said, but I'm glad we did the right thing. Liam nodded and got into his car. As I watched him leave for the last time, there was a complicated sense of peace inside me. This had been one of the strangest and hardest experiences of my life, but I truly believed I had made the right decision. When Daniel returned home, everything continued as if nothing had changed. But something inside me had shifted. The emotional storm I went through with Liam had made me reevaluate my life and boundaries. I was now sure of one thing. A happy life is built on honesty and the right choices,